Hello, children, adults, and animals, maybe, if you left the computer on when they were in the room, or they're trained and highly significant, they're going to take over the world. Alright, so we've got a question here off of YouTube from, I'm guessing, Stefan Melvin. Stefan was wondering, can you do a solving a system of equations using matrices? Of course. The quick rundown of a matrix is essentially it looks like brackets, and it's where you put numbers and stuff. 1, 3, 1, 2. That's a matrix right there. Okay. Hopefully you know what that is. Because if not, check back another video I did. But this is essentially how we want to solve system equations using matrices. So let's assume you already know what a matrix is. Okay. So here we go. Let's say this is our equation right here. These are our two equations of lines. Essentially, this right here is a line, and this right here is a line. And what they mean, what Stefan means by solving a system of it means that you want to find where these two lines cross. So essentially, if those are the two lines, you want to find that point right there. And that's what you're doing when you're trying to solve for these, okay? You can do this by substitution, elimination, or here's another way right here. Or you can draw the lines and see where they cross, or you can type in your calculator and then do the intersection thing and see where they cross. But we're going to do the one by solving with matrices. Now, when you plug this into the matrix, yep, I'm going to refrain from that joke. I'm going to be better than that, okay? So, here we go. Whenever you do this, you've got to put them in standard form. That means your x's are first, your y's are next, equal signs, and then a number, okay? The numbers in front of the x's and y's can be there or not, doesn't matter, but you got to put it in this order, okay? So, after you do that, you pretty much just put them in where they come in. So, 3 is there. We know that's a 1 right there, even though it's not showing, and then 5. So, 3, 1, 5. All right, now we do this one. 2. We know that's a negative 1, and then that's a 0. Okay, now we can solve this. All right, now, your ultimate goal here is to have an equation that looks like this. 1, 1, 0, 0, and then here's a number, and then here's a number. Okay? And these are going to be your answers. That'll be your x, and that'll be your y. Okay? Now, the important thing to know when you're done is, right here, you have 1s going diagonal, starting in the upper left-hand corner, and then 0s everywhere else. Okay? So, essentially what you're doing is you have a few different rules that you can do to each line, like that line and that line. There's some rules that you can do to that entire line that will help you get this to where it has the 1s and the 0s. You essentially ignore these, even though it's going to be your final answer, you ignore those numbers until you get done with this part. Because once you get done with this part, you've got your answer right here. Okay? So, let's see if you can get it once we go along. All right, now, here are a couple of the rules that you can do to essentially solve this, okay? You can switch the two lines. Say we got, I'm just doing x, y, and that's A, x, y, and that's B. All right, you can switch the two lines, switch their positions if you want to. You can multiply an entire row by a number, and you can also add rows together and then replace a row. So essentially you can say like x, y, A, x, y, B. You can say I want to add the top row plus the bottom row, top row, which would be row 1, plus the bottom row, which is row 2, and I want to put the answer on the bottom. That's fine. You can do that. Okay? And that's just a few of the rules. Unless I'm forgetting some, I think that's it. All right, I usually like to stick with these first two just because I feel like it's easy. Now, here's what we're going to do. We know we want to get 1s here and here. All right, if you look at it, you've already got a 1 that's in the second spot. It's just it's on the top and it needs to be on the bottom. Remember that rule I said about switching them? Boom, let's switch these two. So it'll be 3, I'm sorry, I apologize, that 3 shouldn't be there. We switched it, so now that's 2, because it was right there. Negative 1, 0, and then we put the other one 3, and then 1, and then 5, okay? So, boom, I've already got this 1 where I want it, so I'm essentially trying not to get rid of it. But you know what? I just remembered a little trick. The trick to doing this is always get the 0s first, then work on getting the other ones. So, let's ignore that 1. If I mess it up later on, that's fine. That's what I have to do. What I'm going to do is, the trick to doing this is to getting to where you have opposites right here on top of each other, and then you can add the rows together. So I'm going to add row 1 plus row 2, and I'm going to put it on the top. So I need to keep this bottom row what it was. And then I'm going to add them together. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Those two added together is 0. And then those two added together is 5. Okay? Good, 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 good. Getting where I want to get. Now, I need to get it to where this 3 is gone. Okay? And then I can start worrying about my 1s. Let's see. To get rid of that 3, I'm going to need it to get to where I can add these two together and they're opposites like these were. Okay? So, let me shrink this a little bit so we can see what we're doing here. Okay, just ignore all the jumble mess above it. So, let's see. I'm going to have to multiply this top one by 3, multiply the bottom one by -5. That's how we're going to do it, okay? So, I'm going to distribute that one there. So, it's 15, 0, and 15. And then we'll distribute the -5 there. So, it's -15, -5, and then -25. Okay, now I've got it to where these two right here are opposites. So now I can add them together. Where do I want that 0 to be? I want it to end up right here. So therefore I'm going to add 1 plus 2 and put it on the bottom. So let's see, 15, 0, 15. I didn't say this was the most efficient way to do this. Stefan just wanted to see it, so that's why I'm doing it. For you, Stefan. So I add these two together. 15 plus -15 is 0. 0 plus -5 is -5, and then 15 plus -25 is -10. Now, like I said, the easy part's getting it reduced back down to the 1s to where you can get 1s here and here. I'm sorry, here and here. We've got our 0s. Check, check. So pretty much all you're going to do now is reduce. You can, I said you can multiply or divide. Well, cool. We're gonna divide the top by 15. That would give us a 1 here. And then I'm going to have to divide the bottom by -5 to get a 1 there. So let's see what we got. On the top, divide by -15. Boom, that becomes 1. That's still a 0, and that becomes 1. And then we do this. Boom, distribute there. 0, that becomes 1, and that becomes a +2. All right, now we got it where we wanted it, right? Where I told you we needed to get it. We've got this part looking like we want it to. So now we've got our answers. The top one is what x is equal to. The bottom is what y is equal to. And you're done. Now, do we want to check this? Heck yes, we want to check it. It's been a while since I've done this, so we need to refresh to make sure. How do we check? Choose either one of those two equations. Let's do 3x plus y equals 5. And now we plug in our x, which is 1. And then plug in our y, which is 2, equals 5. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 equals 5. Is that true? Yes. So we did this correct. Solving with matrices is the long and complicated way of doing it, especially if it's just like an x and y equation. Now, if you're doing it with 3, if it's got like an x plus a y plus a z equals a number, and you've got 3 of those mugs, matrices is kind of helpful, but there's a really quick way to do it in the calculator. I know your teacher isn't going to tell you how to do that until after you do it the regular way. But I'll be honest, solving matrices with all that is kind of fun. It's like you're a private detective and you're working it out. So that's the really dorky way of explaining it. So you found your answer. My recommendation, if you have the choice and you've just got like an x and a y and you're trying to solve it, do elimination or substitution. So much quicker and easier. Okay? And I have videos on those as well if you'd like to. Just search in there. All right, time for the outro, I guess. Right. Tyler, where are you?
Hey, Tyler here. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out tarveracademy.com.
What? Okay. Well, let's all check out the Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube. Check out my website if you like to. I've got another one at myname.com, tylerharper.com, but who cares about that? Make sure you subscribe. I think the subscribe button down here. Give it a subscribe, and then, I don't know, there's a share down here. Just be like, hey, this guy's on math, and he talks for a long time. Woo-wee. What was that noise? Okay, I'm out. That's enough. I'm tired.